Peace and Islam. Welcome into the Amexem-Moor-Empire, Moor's Internet Televideo-Network, or M.I.T.N for short, which is a part of the Imperial Broadcasting Agency. For the record, today's date on the Amexem-Moor calendar is Peace Day, the 16th of Urbula, the year 301-631. I am the Honorable Noble Tina Wadil, and I serve as the lead video broadcasting agent, and I shall be a hostess for this broadcasting segment. So this is the Amexem-Moor Perspective, segment 38, entitled The Al-Qari Chief Judge. So we are welcoming back to the segment His Imperial Majesty and Anu Bey. So peace and Islam, His Imperial Majesty.
Peace and light, Islam. Thank you for having me. I'm M.I.T.N. How are you faring this evening?
Peace and Islam. All is truly well. And gratitude for asking, Your Honor.
Excellent. So you said that you like to speak about the Rais Al-Qadi for the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Supreme Court.
Islam. Yes, that's the topic for today's segment. So yes.
What exactly do you want me to explain?
Oh, Islam. So first part is what exactly is the Al-Qari? I know I spoke on Chief Judge, so it kind of gives it away, but can you explain it a little bit for those who are not in the know, if you will?
Islam. All right. So from the Constitutional Monarch's bench, there are three levels of the imperial court system. The Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court for the small claims. The middle court is the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court. So those that serve and provide justice at those two levels are generally referred to as the Al-Hakam. Al-Hakam and Al-Qadi translated into English, either one of them will come out to the word judge. So at the imperial court level, there's the bridge where if you happen to be in any imperial court, the middle court, I mean, the chief for that particular level of court will be the Sayyidun al-Hakam, or chief judge of that particular imperial court. So Sayyid, or in proper motor vehicle code Arabic, it would be Sayyidun. So Sayyidun al-Hakam. Well, at the Imperial Supreme Court, there's 9 justices, and the chief justice there in the motor vehicle code Arabic will be Rais Al-Qadi, chief judge, because the word justice and judge are not exactly the same in motor vehicle code Arabic. So for expediency, we just say Rais Al-Qadi, because Rais Al-Qadi literally means chief judge of the Imperial Supreme Court for us. However, we were technically referred to them as chief justice for the Imperial Supreme Court. For technicalities of those that speak the language, though, Rais Al-Qadi. So under Article 2, Section 1, Clause 7 of the Amexem-Moor-Empire Constitution, the Constitutional Monarch has the authority to appoint an imperial court judge at any particular level. However, it's the imperial court, it's the imperial council, the legislative branch of the imperial government, that has to vote to approve those parties that have been appointed to become officially an Al-Hakam, an Al-Qadi, or an Al-Qadi for the Imperial Supreme Court, or Rais Al-Qadi of the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Supreme Court. So being appointed is one thing. You have to be voted. You have to have a vote for the approval. So two-step process, effectively. And we recently had to go through that particular process. We, meaning implementive branch, quote unquote, executive branch, and the Amexem-Moor-Empire legislative branch, the Imperial Council. So I did propose a candidate, or nominee, however you want to say it, and the Imperial Court, they received my appointment, and during the first Imperial Council meeting that we had on the legislative agenda, I spoke with the Imperial Council, made particular presentments and hosted things to make my particular arguments on the behalf of the candidate becoming voted into being the actual Imperial Supreme Court Justice, specifically Rais Al-Qadi. And I was actually hoping to see if I could move to get a vote for it to be made reality on the record. The Imperial Council tabled that. There was no consensus, so we did not proceed. In the next Imperial Council meeting, we had several items on the legislative agenda. We got through most of them, not all of them that evening. And the reason why we didn't get through all of them, because one of them that we had was getting back to the discussion on the record regarding the appointee. And we got to go through a process. So under Article 2, Section 1, Clauses 1, 2, and 3, I did get the proposal for the Imperial Council that we moved to see if there's consensus for a vote. There was. So under Article 2, Section 1, Clauses 1, 2, and 3, I did call for the vote. Under Article 2, Section 1, Clause 4 of the Amexem-Moor-Empire Constitution, the Imperial Council did have one of their number to put a motion on the floor. It was properly second. I had to call the roll, and they all gave their yay or nay. And once the numbers proved to be affirmative, the appointee officially became approved by the Imperial Council by vote to become the Rais Al-Qadi for the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Supreme Court. So he was this is Grand Honorable Noble Chief Justice, if you would, or Grand Honorable Noble Rais Al-Qadi Messiah Bey. Previously, he was in the implementing branch. He was my national ambassador. So he was second in command to our sitting commanding Grand Ambassador. And now he is going into the Imperial Judicial Branch. So that's how that whole aspect, that whole engagement came to be. So that's the best way to how to explain what you've asked. Do you have any follow-on questions for me on what I've explained to you, Honorable Noble Tina? Islam.
My only other question is, what are some of the duties we're going to be expecting from the new Al-Qadi? Islam.
All right. Well, quite frankly, the less the better. All right. Let me answer your question. The Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court system, we know where certain things are going. We have far more business operations across the planet than we have had ever. A lot of contracts, license agreements, and things of this nature. Borrow distribution agreements, a whole host of things that go along that continuum. It's inevitable that you're going to see dispute issues regarding contract performance. Some of those disputes may end up before the Imperial Court. Some of them may end up before the Imperial Supreme Court. I'm giving much thanks that in 27 plus Earth years, the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court at any level has not been convened except for 9 times. And the last time was pushing 9 Earth years ago already. We don't have issues here. We don't have repeat offenders here. We don't have the nonsense up in here. We're not doing that. So we've had 8 Imperial Court cases, 1 Imperial Court case that was specifically a court-martial. So the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court structure is you have criminal accusation, civil accusation, and there's a third. We call it the Imperial Maritime term. It's broken into two parts. Part one, criminal accusation on the high seas, the literal waters, not the seas of commerce. And part two is civil accusation term for the maritime. So in other words, any civil action originating on the literal high seas, not the high seas of commerce per se, the physical waters, literal high seas. Those get argued in the maritime term for criminal and or civil, not on the imperial court on dry land. They're not the same. So on dry land, you're innocent until proven guilty. In the literal waters, the physical waters, you're guilty until proven innocent. Not the same. So the process protocols and procedures between on dry land, imperial court operations, and on the actual waters are two separate and distinct things. So you will have an ICF, an Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Court officer with the rank of commander. They sit to hear those as an al-Hakam, if you would, for the waters. A judge, if you would, for anything that happened on the waters, criminal and or civil. The prosecution is done by an Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Customs Force Lieutenant Commander. They're the provost. Now, any other criminal accusation that's going to be it's on dry land, if you would. That's going to be done by the Imperial Crown Prosecutor. The Imperial Crown Prosecutor, they are the staff of the Department for the Law and Justice. And our equivalent to what some would call the Marshal Service is the Imperial Special Services Agency. They have the Marshal, or in English, the Marshal. Now, if there's going to be a criminal accusation on dry land, again, that's before an actual al-Hakam. It's not going to, or al-Qadi, it's not going to be before an ICF officer. Now, if the accusation that's being brought forth that happened on the actual waters happened 31.5 nautical miles out to sea, then the judge, if you would, that's hearing that, the officer that will serve as the al-Hakam will not come from the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Customs Force. ICF is Coast Guard, and their jurisdiction goes to 31 nautical miles, and with a buffer out to 31.5 nautical miles. In other words, over the horizon is outside their jurisdiction. And if you're on water because of the curvature of the earth, you can't see over the horizon. When a ship is coming towards you, you see the top of that ship first. And the closer she comes to you, you begin to see the bridge. Then you begin to see the bow of the ship, because she's now coming closer. When she's further out, the curvature of the earth does not allow you to see her like that. And when you're past 31 nautical miles, that's over the horizons, beyond your line of physical sight. Anything past 31.5 nautical miles is the jurisdiction of the Imperial Sea Defense Force. We don't have a Navy, we have the Imperial Sea Defense Force. And so the rank of commander in the Imperial Sea Defense Force will hear all actions, criminal or civil, in the Imperial Maritime term for any accusation that occurred beyond 31 nautical miles out, 31.5 nautical miles and further out to sea. That gets heard by the Imperial Sea Defense Force commander. The provost that's going to be actually prosecuting the action will be an Imperial Sea Defense Force lieutenant commander. They will be the provost. So it separated it out. And that's the way we proceed. And hopefully we have as few actions as possible. That's the best way I know how to answer your question as you asked it. Do you have a follow-on question for me at this point, Honorable Tina? Islam.
My final question, it just came up, but because you mentioned the horizon in the distance, what came to mind is when dealing with a foreign venue, if you will. So if there's a dispute that involves the foreign jurisdiction, would we expect our Supreme Court to handle it, or how would that go about?
You're going to ask me to explain or to walk you through extraterritoriality?
Just the surface.
I can't explain that. That's extraterritoriality is broad and that's heavy. I would need. It's not just extraterritoriality that's actually involved. It all depends if there's conventions between us and whoever the foreigners are. There's a host of things that come in. You got law and justice involved. You got imperial affairs involved. The Imperial Customs Force is involved. The Defense and Security is involved. Potentially trade, travel, and transport is involved because of the Imperial Merchant Marines. So you might think it was a simple question to answer. I promise you, it is not. We are not party unto the charter from the privately owned and operated quote-unquote United Nations. So UNCLOS or UNLAWS, depending on who you talk to, the quote-unquote law to see that they are under convention unto, we're not signatory unto. So certain things are not applicable. So most folks who don't know their head from their elbow will refer to certain things as stateless because they don't know the distinction between stateless and uncontacted, which is uncontracted. They don't, you're trained, they're not. They mean well, however, 99.99999% of our kith and kindred, meaning well as they do not know their head from their elbow regarding customary international law and international law. And they think they know contracts, but when they open their mouth, they demonstrate that they clearly do not. This is not to attack. This is not condescension or arrogance. This is what the evidence overwhelmingly bears forth. It's what it bears out. So that's why you're laughing, because you know this is, what you asked me is mega extensive. It's not as simple as it sounds. Islam.
Islam. And it's just to enlighten our kith and kin, whether they be nationals or not, within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. So that's the reason why I brought it up, because there's a lot to learn. And these are the reasons why we have these segments. So gratitude once again for the questions and or answers into my questions, pardon self.
Great one. When there is an interjurisdictional engagement, I see this to fill out what's called a C3, which is an interjurisdictional report. Years ago, we had Operation Sparrowhawk, an interjurisdictional matter that happened, and ICF basically put the cuffs on this particular party. The investigation did not start within the Amexem-Moor-Empire, although there was things that we were tangentially involved in, which is why there was a parallel investigation that became a joint investigation. And once that particular foreign entity agreed to it being a joint investigation, we termed it Operation Sparrowhawk. Now, the investigation force could only go but so far, because there was a foreign venue, quote-unquote, bank account that was involved. And that particular foreign venue bank account, we could not send an investigation into that. That would be foreign venue bank. So as a foreign venue, quote-unquote, bank, to investigate that could cause there to be complaints of corporate espionage. So had to limit the scope of the investigation, which made it into the joint investigation. and that foreign entity, their forces investigated the bank side of it. And they concluded that, yes, there was some corporate fraud involved. There was some embezzlement involved. And when both sides came to an agreement on what was what, yeah, there was criminal action. However, it started outside of our jurisdiction and venue. It bled into ours. However, it started in a foreign jurisdiction. So we arrested him. We didn't prosecute him before the imperial court. He was prosecuted in the foreign jurisdiction where it actually began. That was Operation Sparrowhawk. So there's 5 trillion things that I would have to explain. Like I said, what you asked, it sounds like an innocently simple question. It most certainly is not, by no stretch of the imagination. So I'm gonna leave that there. If you have questions, I'll answer them if I can. So I yield the floor back to you, Honorable Tina. Islam.
The final segment was just any final parting words that you wanted to impart to our audience for the segment before close out. So, but I think you already went into some of it, so I believe that suffices for it. But if you would like to add a little bit more, you're more than welcome to do so at this time.
Islam, I'm going to keep it light. I just was happy to be able to explain the Amexem-Moor-Empire court operations from the various levels and from the Imperial Maritime Term Parts 1 and 2. I was surprised I had to actually speak about extraterritoriality. Wasn't expecting that.
I mean, it's in the works, and eventually it's bound to happen. So that's why. But, yeah, putting it out there for our kith and kin, Islam.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave my comments there. Noble Tina. Peace, love, and light in Islam.
Islam. Gratitude, His Imperial Majesty, for your time and for your service unto all of us. So once again, just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Islam.
Islam.
All right. And to our wonderful audience, for more information about the Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial Government, down to the local level, more information can be obtained on the website that we influence, which is modernmoormonarchy.squarespace.com. So again, modernmoormonarchy.squarespace.com. Do show some love, and leave a positive comment as well. So I would appreciate it, and we all would. And thank you in advance. So you are also encouraged to share a link to this segment with all who you associate with. And finally, I say thank you. And I just wanted to say until next time, on behalf of His Imperial Majesty and all of our fellow Amexem-Moor-Empire nationals all across the planet, peace, great health upon all of you, and prosperity upon all of us, Islam. So until next time, peace and Islam.